Why?
Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why? Why ask why? That's why we here. Yo, what's up, world? It's your man Slim Jim Longfoot, aka the GOAT, King of America. And you see what the title says. You see what the title says, man. So I'm just asking the question. Why? Why do people cater to turning non-black characters black? Why do people cater to getting crumbs from popular culture? Why don't people want to just create their own brand new characters of different ethnic backgrounds? Black, white, Mexican, Asian, Native American, whatever religion, whatever sex, whatever gender, whatever the case. Why? Why do people rather say, hey, let's make a black Spider-Man, let's make a black Superman, let's make a black Wonder Woman, black Batman, or Asian Iron Fist, or whatever the case? Why do people say that instead of just create your own original character? What's up with that? I'm saying this because I know people are, well, they're not real characters, so, they can be any color they want to make them. Why not make them different? Because that's lazy. You know why I say that's lazy? Because I myself am a comic book creator. I know several comic book creators, and they have original characters out. Instead of you seeking a character that is already whatever color, whatever race, whatever sex background, whatever the case, you rather them take a popular character and change them all around. Like, that's lazy. That's Lazy. Lazy. I'm just saying. And this is something that I've been grinding my gears on for not just recently, not just a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, decades. Because it's just lazy. Now, I can understand, like, back when the Ultimate series came out, the Ultimate Comics of Marvel in the early 2000s, they had a black Nick Fury in there. That was a whole nother universe. And that black Nick Fury, of course, became popular enough to have one of the greatest actors who the character was designed off of, Samuel L. Jackson, play him in the Marvel movies, in the MCU. So, yeah, that was cool. And besides, if you was outside the comic books, nobody was checking for Nick Fury anyway. Besides, I always saw Nick Fury when I was a kid. Nick Fury, I thought he was like Mr. Fantastic's brother. If you saw how Nick Fury was drawn back in the day, he had brown hair on the top, white on the sides, and the only difference between him and Mr. Fantastic was he was unshaven with an eye patch. You know what I'm saying? Like, they looked like twins. I used to think that they were twin brothers, you know what I'm saying? Except one had an eye patch and was unshaven. That's how much they looked alike every time you saw them being drawn by the same artist. You know what I'm saying? They looked like the same freaking dude. I literally thought Nick Fury and Mr. Fantastic were brothers when I was a kid. So, yeah. So, that wasn't too much of a change that you didn't, hark on, because it was just like, okay, whatever, Anybody else feel me like that? Comment down below, because I thought they were twin brothers when I was a kid, especially when John Byrne drew the Fantastic Four back in the day. I thought they were twin brothers. So, or he was like him in the future or some crap. I didn't know. But anyway, but that's one thing. Then of course you had the same Ultimate Universe where Peter Parker never made it past the age of 15, 16 years old, died, and a young kid who happened to get powers during that same time, Miles Morales, came and he became the new Spider-Man. Now that was cool for them to do that, you know what I'm saying? And and we know that multiverses exist. Yes, multiverses do exist. We know this. And so you can have different Spider-Mans and Norman Osborns and whatnot. But Norman Osborn has always been that running joke, because people are like, well, white people have one like that. Well, if you've seen enough movies back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, you actually see that there were guys, especially redheaded white men, who had their hair had waved up just like Norman Osborn did. That was always a running gag, with us talking about Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn's hair, because, they had the same hair texture back then. Both of them had the whole little wave thing going on. But now it's just a lot of pandering, yo. It's just a lot of, hey, let's cater to them for a little minute. And if it don't work, then oh well, they wasn't that into it. Of course, I'm not gonna be into it because I don't care. I've never said, man, I want to see Norman Osborn be black. I never thought that in my life. Yeah, we laughed about joked about the idea of how his mask kept his hair down, so that's how he kept his waves, right, because it served as a scarf, wave cap on him, that's why his hair was like that. But that ain't what we wanted. That's never been what we wanted. You feel me? That's never been what we wanted. And like my boy Johnny Quest Gaming said, my bro, he said the waves on swim. You feel me? Shout out to Johnny Quest Gaming, creator of the Force. Go check that out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shameless plug. I don't care. But that part. But man, that ain't what we wanted, y'all. That ain't what we wanted. What you want to see in the comic industry is new characters. You want to see new characters. I don't want to see a black Superman. I don't want to see a black Batman. I don't want to see a black Wonder Woman, a black Iron Man. I don't want. Just make a new character that so happens to be black, Asian, Spanish, Middle Eastern, whatever the case. Make a new character. It ain't got to be the same character. You ain't got to say, oh, Tony Stark died, so somebody else took his place. Now they're the new Iron Man. Or here go a new Hulk. Or why does every big strong monster creature got to be a Hulk? Now they just got to assemble a line of Hulks. Like, we ain't got to keep on seeing the same daggone. We ain't got to keep on seeing a whole bunch of different people become a Hulk. It's stupid, man. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's just like hey, like Wolverine is one character. We don't need to see a Negro Green. We don't need to see that. Just make a whole brand new character. You know what I'm saying? That's a ferocious type of dude. Like Razor the Jackal from the Force. You know what I'm saying? His name ain't Wolverine. Go check out Razor the Jackal from the Force. Another shameless plug. But yeah, you feel me? I'm just saying. It doesn't have to be the same freaking character with somebody different wearing the costume. We don't need to see a whole bunch of guys talking about they Superman, even though it worked for the Ring of the Superman back in '93. That did work. That was a cool concept of how they did that. That was an ingenious concept. See, if you're gonna do something like that, do something like that. And out of that came several different characters. From Steel, who, at first everybody was like he was the Man of Steel. And you had Steel come out, you know what I'm saying? Then you had Superboy came out of that. The clone version of Superboy came out of that. You know what I'm saying? That was ingenious. That's how you bring about new things by, if you want to, poke around at, here are these several different people claiming to be Superman, but then of course you eventually make them their own characters. Like Miles Morales. Miles Morales has been around since 2011. He's still being called Spider-Man. He should have had his own name by now. You know what I'm saying? Especially since now he's in the same universe as the 616 Peter Parker, not the 616 in the movies, because the 616 movie universe isn't the real 616. The real 616 is the comic books. They should have called the movie universe 614 or something. You know what I'm saying? That's what they should have did with that. 616 is the comic book universe, not the MCU. Even though they want to try to claim that as the MCU, which they should have just made that a different number to differentiate it from the comic books, because those ain't the same daggone 616s. You feel me? They should have made it the 615 or something. But I'm just saying. And so Johnny Quest Gamer, he said race swaps don't really matter because they're going to lose the mantle. We have properties already to invest in. That's right. You feel me? We already got properties out there to invest in, because at the end of the day, no matter how much they do, and I want y'all to understand this, how much, whatever they do, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. Sam Wilson ain't gonna be Captain America forever. It's gonna revert back to Steve Rogers, because Steve Rogers is that man who the mantle is his. Bruce Wayne is forever gonna be Batman. Clark Kent, aka Kal-El, forever gonna be Superman. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're talking about a multiverse. Yeah, in a multiverse, in another setting, it'll be somebody different. Like Thomas Wayne was Batman in Flashpoint, or you know what I'm saying, or the president Superman, you know, the black Superman of one of the multiverses. You know, you have the multiverses, but in the main timeline, in the main universe that those characters are in, that's going to forever be, unless you know something switches up and blase blase. But at the end of the day, just make a brand new character. It's nothing. It's wrong for everybody in the superhero genre, in the genre of comic books. Period. Especially the superhero genre. You can have more than one person, you know, with the abilities of Superman, but they ain't gotta all be called Superman. They ain't gotta all be called Spider-Man. They ain't all gotta be called Batman. You feel me? You got like 4, 5, 6 dudes and chicks who have been called Robin, but eventually they all get their own identity. You know, the original Robin is Nightwing. The second Robin is Red Hood now. The third Robin is Red Robin or something like that, if I'm mistaken. I can't remember. And then right now, and then you had a girl Robin. I can't remember her identity now, but it's a cool one, like Shadow or something like that. I can't remember. But the current Robin right now is Damian Wayne, who happens to be Bruce Wayne's son. So which makes that the best option ever, you know. So with that being said, you know, you have all these characters that eventually evolve and get their own identities, even though they started off with that same that identity. They all, you know, was at one point Robin. Dick Grayson, of course, being the first one. And so, you know, that, you know, was a cool mantle to pass on, you know, the different people being Robin, but eventually those characters go off and become their own hero. You feel me? So that's, you know, you can do the same thing with a black character, like Rhodey, for instance. Tony's best friend, Tony Stark's best friend, James Rhodes. He, you know what I'm saying, he isn't called, I'm gonna call myself Iron Man too. No, he is War Machine. He got his own suit tricked out. He's called War Machine. Even like Riri Williams, her name is Ironheart. She ain't running around saying I'm Iron Man too, or Iron, you know, she got her own identity. So, you know, why in the world Miles Morales ain't got his own identity yet? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't ever want him to be called Spider Boy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he could actually be called Spider. I wouldn't want him to be called Black Spider, because you know how they try to do that with, you know, black characters and put black on everything. But, you know, like, he needs some type of identity at this point, along with anybody else. Like, quit begging for them to turn a character black because you're stuck in the fantasy that only those characters can be the popular characters. Those characters are popular because they were made popular. You know what I'm saying? And you too can make an original character popular as well if you support it. So if you want to know where you can find so many cool characters, I'm going to put down the link for blackcomiclords.net, which is an awesome website that showcases independent comic book companies on their website, including UGI Studios. Another shameless plug, sure enough. So most definitely go check that out so you can find other popular characters, you know what I'm saying, in the comic book world, in the superhero world. No, they're not all Marvel and DC. They're even better. You know why? Because they are owned by the people who created them. They are owned by the people who created them. They're not just corporate comics. They're not just owned by Marvel and DC. They are owned by the people who created them. So why wouldn't you want to support that? Unless you just want another black Superman. I'm going, y'all. One love.
Slim Jim Longfoot, Slim Jim.